A few days ago, I made a video about the Xbox 360 emulator. It didn't get the response I was expecting. But in that video, I also mentioned another emulator called Zenroid Emulator. I had promised that I would make a dedicated video about it. And today we are finally going to test it. In this video, I'll show you what improvements Zenroid Emulator offers compared to the Xbox 360 emulator. We'll also look at its strengths, its weaknesses, and whether it's actually a better choice. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started with today's video. Let's start with Forza Horizon. I already showed you this game in my previous Xbox 360 emulator video. On that emulator, the game gets stuck on the loading screen and never reaches the actual gameplay. However, on the Zenroid emulator, the game does launch and becomes playable. That said, there's a major issue during gameplay. While driving, the car starts moving forward, but then it suddenly jumps back to its previous position. This strange movement keeps repeating, making the gameplay feel very unstable. You can clearly see this problem on the screen. If the developer fixes this bug in a future update, I genuinely believe that Zenroid Emulator has the potential to become a better emulator than the Xbox 360 emulator. It already gets further into the game, so with a few optimizations and bug fixes, it could offer a much better overall experience. Next, I tested Forza Motorsport 2, which I also showed in my previous Xbox 360 emulator video. On the Xbox 360 emulator, the game would crash almost immediately after launching, and I couldn't get past that issue. However, on the Zenroid emulator, the game actually launches successfully. Unfortunately, it runs into the same problem as Forza Horizon. During gameplay, the racing mechanics don't work properly, making the game difficult to play. Because of this issue, I don't think racing games are fully playable on this emulator at the moment. Of course, this could also be related to my device or processor. It's possible that this emulator hasn't been fully optimized for my chipset yet. So, I recommend that you try it on your own device and let me know your results in the comments. Tell me how the game performs for you and whether you're experiencing the same issue or if it runs better on your device. Next is Street Fighter 4, which I also tested in my previous Xbox 360 emulator video. Unfortunately, I didn't notice any major improvements in this new emulator either. The game still suffers from the same issues that were present on the Xbox 360 emulator, so the overall experience hasn't changed much. Because of that, there's not much more to say about this game right now. Hopefully, future updates will improve compatibility and fix these problems. Once the emulator receives more optimization, I'll test the game again and let you know if the performance gets better. Now let's talk about Street Fighter X-Tekken. This is the game where I noticed the biggest improvement in the new emulator. The first major improvement is that the left side character is now visible. In the Xbox 360 emulator, the character on the left was missing because of a rendering bug, but that issue has been fixed here. However, one major problem still remains. Just like on the Xbox 360 emulator, the game still suffers from low FPS and slow gameplay. The movement feels sluggish, which affects the overall experience. If the developer focuses on optimizing these performance issues in future updates, I believe this emulator could become much better and make games like this playable on a wider range of devices with different processors. Next, I tested Tenchu Z, which I also showed in my Xbox 360 emulator video. On the Xbox 360 emulator, I experienced several issues, including pixelated graphics, overheating, and low FPS. With the Zenroid emulator, I still noticed some FPS drops, but the pixelated graphics issue is completely gone. Visually, the game looks much better than it did on the Xbox 360 emulator. Overall, the games I've tested so far perform better on this emulator, including Tenchu Z, as you can see in the gameplay. If the developer continues to optimize this emulator, I believe it has the potential to become a really solid Xbox 360 emulator. With better optimization, even users with low-end devices could eventually enjoy more Xbox 360 games with a much smoother experience. That's all for today's video. I just wanted to share my experience with this new emulator and explain the improvements and issues I found during testing. Now it's your turn. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions and know how this emulator performs on your device. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Your support helps the channel grow and motivates me to keep creating more emulator testing videos. Also, don't forget to join my Telegram channel. I regularly share updates, useful information, and I also help with game-related questions whenever I can. I've explained everything I wanted to about this emulator in today's video. For the next video, let me know in the comments what you'd like me to test next. Many of the emulator and game suggestions you shared are already in progress, so please be patient. More videos are coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.